The man born blind. John 9, 1-38. Jesus is in Jerusalem, and again it is the Sabbath. Jesus has already aroused the anger of the religious leaders. Jesus had already openly declared himself equal with God. This was blasphemy to the Jewish religious leaders, and they sought to stone Jesus to death. Jesus just simply walks out of the temple. Outside he passes by a man blind from birth. Jesus' disciples asked him, saying, "Teacher, who caused this man to be born blind by sinning, this man or his parents?" And Jesus answered, saying, "Neither this man nor his parents are responsible, but this has happened so that God's work might be revealed in him. I must do the works of God while it is day, because the night is coming when no one can work. As long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world." After speaking to his disciples, Jesus spit on the ground, made mud with the dirt and saliva, and then he put the mud on the man's eyes. Then Jesus instructed the man, saying, Go and wash your eyes in the pool of Siloam." So the man did as he was told, and when he returned, he was able to see. The people who had known this man when he was blind said to each other, "Isn't this the man who used to sit and beg?" Some said, "It is the same man." Others said, "No, it is not him. This man just looks like the man who begged." The man who had been healed said, "I am the one." The people then asked him, "How are you able to see now?" And the man replied, "A man they called Jesus made mud and put it on my eyes, then told me to go wash in the pool of Siloam. So I did, and afterwards was able to see." And the people asked, "Where is this Jesus?" The man answered, "I do not know." The people took the man who had been blind to see the religious leaders. It was the Sabbath day when Jesus had opened the man's eyes. The religious leaders also asked the man how he had received his sight, and he told them, "Jesus put mud in my eyes, I washed it off, then I could see." Then some of the religious leaders said, "This man is not from God because he does not keep the Sabbath." Others said, "If he was a sinner, how could he do such works?" Thus there was a division among the religious leaders. The religious leaders then asked the former blind man again, "Since it was your eyes he opened so you could see, what do you say about him?" The man replied, "He is a prophet." Many of the people still refused to believe that this was the man who had been born blind, and begged outside the temple until they talked to his parents. They asked his parents, "Is this man your son who was born blind? How is it that now he can see?" And the parents answered, saying, "This is our son, and he was born blind, but how he was able to see we do not know. Ask him, for he is an adult, and he can speak for himself." The parents answered this way because they were afraid of the religious leaders who had already decided to expel from the synagogue anyone who confessed that Jesus was the Messiah. The religious leaders called the man to come back and talk with them a second time. When he arrived, they told him, "Give glory to God. We know this man is a sinner." The man answered, saying, "If this man is a sinner or not, I do not know. One thing I do know, although I was once blind, I can now see." Then they asked the man again, "How did he open your eyes?" And the man answered, "I told you already, but you did not listen. Do you want me to tell you again? Do you want to become one of his disciples?" Hearing the man, the religious leaders became angry and said, "You are his disciple, but we are disciples of Moses. We know God spoke to Moses, but this man we do not know from where he comes." The man said, "Wow, this is amazing. You do not know from where he comes, but he opened my eyes. Since the world began, it has never happened that someone born blind could be made to see. If this man were not from God, he could do nothing." The religious leaders responded, "Who do you think you are? You were born in sin and you think you can teach us?" And then they expelled him from the synagogue. Jesus, hearing what had happened, found the man and asked, "Do you believe in the Son of God?" And the man answered, "Who is he that I might believe in him?" And Jesus said, "You have seen him, and the one who is talking to you now is he." Then the man cried out, "Lord, I believe." And the man worshipped Jesus.